Welcome into the Arrowhead Addict halftime show. My name is Price Carter. Thank you for joining me today as your Kansas City Chiefs are struggling here a little bit against the Denver Broncos. They head into halftime, Broncos 14, Chiefs 10. I thought it was kind of an interesting way to end the game there, or in the half, with the Chiefs being able to hold the Broncos out of the red zone, out of a field goal. I feel personally them getting 3 there was kind of a gut punch. When we were coming in here, which they did not, by the way, but coming into this game, I think you ask yourself, what units did you feel the most confident about having a good game here? Between Bo Nix and his early season struggles, the limited skill players on offense for the Broncos, and the Broncos relying on the run a lot, you probably felt the best about the Chiefs defense, especially when you factor in the only rookie quarterback to ever beat Steve Spagnuolo was last season when Aiden O'Connell came in here, didn't complete a pass in the second half, and had 2 defensive touchdowns. That's just not what we call sustainable. But instead, the tables have turned here a little bit. The Chiefs defense is reeling, it has seemed, for most of this game. They've not had a lot of great answers. The pass rush is struggling to get home against what is a very good Broncos offensive line. They got their starting center back in this game. Quinn Miners is one of the best guards in the NFL. Garrett Bowles is still a pretty solid right tackle or left tackle, and Mike McGlinchey's all right at right tackle. They're getting the ball out quickly, and then even more surprising, we've seen a couple of big playmakers for the Chiefs really struggle. Trent McDuffie just gets torched by Courtland Sutton, who's not really a burner on the outside for that second touchdown. So it's been a little bit surprising. We'll get into the stats here a little bit, but as we do that, go ahead and drop your halftime predictions into the chat. What you think the final score of the game is going to be, and who you think the big player of the game is, maybe a Chiefs player who needs to step up here in the second half. One thing that has really surprised me, too, is how much the Chiefs have struggled blocking up the Broncos pass rush. Here's the thing. Zach Allen is playing like probably one of the best interior defensive linemen in the NFL, especially as a pass rusher. He's right up there with Chris Jones as far as pass rush win rate and all those metrics. The edges are not like a lot of edges that the Chiefs have faced this year. They are smaller, bendier edges, quick off the snap. Obviously, Wanya Morris's knee injury, we still don't know if he's coming back. He's questionable at this point. I haven't seen a status update on him, but that's a big deal. Sua Mataia is struggling against that speed rush on the outside. He's rusty, and also, let's be honest, he's the backup for a reason at this point. They've not loved what they've seen from him. So there's clearly something there that the Chiefs coaching staff had some concerns about. We've seen Juwan Taylor get an illegal formation penalty where he was trying to adjust for the pass rush, probably. That's why they kind of take that step back a little bit to try to give them some more space to handle with that speed rush. They've struggled. And the Chiefs offense, they need to be able to run the ball. That's something that we've seen from them. And right now, they've not really had a lot of efficiency with that. You've got Kareem Hunt with 8 carries for 24 yards, averaging 3 yards per carry with a long of 10. And they've done a pretty good job of corralling Patrick Mahomes. I thought Trent Green did a nice job of highlighting the fact that at one point the Broncos had 2 QB spies. So 2 guys who aren't rushing the passer, who are just sitting in the middle of the field trying to contain Mahomes on a third down that they end up not getting. It looks like Patrick Surtain, the all-world corner for the Broncos, has been shadowing DeAndre Hopkins. That's been a pretty good little battle to go here, but it's not going to be easy. Let's be clear. Patrick Surtain is very, very good. And I think one thing that I keep coming back to is this offense really needs Xavier Worthy to start being the player that he was, frankly, at the beginning of the season. At this point, they've just not gotten anything from him. And you can feel the lack of explosiveness with a solid defense like the Broncos have here, especially whenever you force the Chiefs to pass the ball. The Chiefs have not had great efficiency running the ball today, and it's showing. Now, on the other side of the ball, or on the other side of the coin, they've gotten some good performances out of Travis Kelce. 6 receptions for 53 yards and a touchdown. A long of 22. That was a great one. And I thought Patrick Mahomes has played very admirably considering the amount of pressure he's facing. And the bum ankle, 16 for 20, 129 yards, a touchdown. He's only been sacked twice, but he's avoided a couple more by throwing the ball away or rushing forward. Bo Nix on the other side of the coin has been playing really well. I've been very surprised by what I've seen from him. I felt at first when the Chiefs defense got off the field there pretty quickly, I was like, okay, well, this is how this is going to go. He's throwing behind the line of scrimmage, and the Chiefs are just going to gobble that up. But that's not been the case. Bo Nix, 14 for 20, 160 yards, 8 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, and only been sacked once. And, the Broncos haven't run the ball particularly effectively. They got Audric Estime with 4 carries for 26 yards, Marvin Mims, 2 for 18, Javonte Williams, 1 carry for 1 yard. Courtland Sutton, he was there for that big touchdown, 3 for 48 from him. The Chiefs continuing to struggle with the tight end. Adam Troutman, which is, not exactly what we'd call a fantasy star. 1 catch, 34 yards. That big completion put them into the red zone. They've got a UDFA, Devon Vele, with 3 catches for 31 yards with a touchdown. They're just kind of nickel and diming the Chiefs. When I mean that, there's no one person that's killing them. They're just getting open when they need to. And, the Chiefs defense, it's got to step up. We've seen we've seen Jaden Hicks start getting on the field more here. I'm not sure if that's out of necessity or them just trying to find some answers here. We've known that the second corner, once they've lost Jalen Watson, was going to be an issue here. I don't know if this is as much a Najee Johnson issue or if it's an issue with the Chiefs defense as a whole. Maybe it's a scheme thing, lack of pass rush. That's not really gotten home either, but they are still looking for answers there. And then it doesn't help when Trent McDuffie is not kind of his all-pro version of himself. Overall, though, you're happy to come out of halftime 14-10. The Chiefs get the ball after half. You march down the field, score. You're right back in this game. Not that they're out of this game, but it did kind of look bleak there for a second. Patrick Mahomes gets sacked there trying to drive down to get that touchdown. They get an illegal touching penalty that extends that drive. They end up kicking or punting there. It could have been scary hours for this offense for sure. The Chiefs offense, it is highly efficient, highly effective, but it is not explosive. This isn't one of those games that you feel like, or this isn't one of those offenses that you really feel like, okay, they can come back from 24-0 like they used to. Maybe they can, but it's going to be a lot harder whenever you don't have those explosive plays. So things I'm looking for here in the second half, I want to see some Xavier Worthy. And it's not just because he's the first round pick and I like him and I want that to work. It's that this offense needs to open up. They need to try, even if they don't complete it, they need to try some shots to him. And then the offensive line, they've got to step up. Kingsley Suamataia got to do a better job. Juwan Taylor's got to do a better job. The interior, I think, is playing fine against a very good interior pass rusher. But if they're going to try to complete a deep pass down the field, he's going to need time. So they've got to step up. And then defensively, we just need to see improvement all around. Either get that pass rush home. I know we've got Mike Dana back in the lineup, but you traded for Joshua Uche. He's a guy who wins quickly. Let's try to mix him in and see if we can get some pass rush that way, because Mike Dana is a highly ineffective pass rusher. He's a good player, good edge setter, a good ditch digger, but he's not a guy who's winning quickly, especially against a pretty good offensive line of the Broncos. Let's head to the chat here and see what some people have to say about how this game is going and the final score predictions. So Javier Sosa has the Chiefs winning 24-17. Slothy also has the Chiefs winning 24-17. I'm seeing that a lot. It does kind of feel like that would be a similar path, although let's hope that the Chiefs defense can hold the Broncos to just 3 more points. Right now, that's felt kind of like a long shot. Jeremy Kennedy, I like what he's saying. 31-17 KC. I haven't seen anyone calling for a Chiefs loss yet. Kansas City Area Youth Jazz, 28-17 Chiefs. 23-17 Shannon the Harness has the Chiefs winning. Let's see here. We've got a 27-17 from BCP. Let's see if we got any other ones here. 24-21 Chiefs. Most of these looking pretty good. Sean Browning's got him winning 27-14. So I will say, if the Chiefs do not win this game, I think, frankly, it's going to end up being in that no man's land. The way I look at it, when it comes to an offense and a defense, if an offense can score more than 24 points, 25, 26, 27, they win most games. Most teams win most games when they score about that many points. If the defense holds a team to 21 or less, you feel like you can win most of those games. There's kind of that no man's land, that 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. If the defense is giving up that many points or the offense fails to score that many points, it starts becoming a pretty tough task for the other side to coordinate with. The offense, they've either got to step up and start scoring some more, or the defense is going to have to clamp down here in the second half. Bo Nix is what he is. He is a pretty good scrambler. He's an efficient passer, but he is not someone who wins over the middle of the field often. And despite that Courtland Sutton play, he's not been a guy who stretches the ball deep down the field. So the Chiefs have got to figure that out here. They're playing on a short week. They've got a big opponent coming up the following week against the Buffalo Bills. You want to win this game so that way when you go and face the Bills, if you do lose to what is a very good quarterback and a very good team, you still have breathing room for that number 1 seed. So a lot at stake here in the second half for the Chiefs. You want to get this game in Arrowhead because there's another game on the schedule coming up against these Broncos in Denver, and that's the final week of the season. So hopefully that way the Chiefs don't even have to play their starters. We'll see Carson Wentz in that game. Fingers crossed. For my final score prediction, I'm going to take the Chiefs, but I'm going to take them tight. I'm going to take them 28-25 as the final score. I think that it's just going to be kind of a body blow game and a game that the Chiefs, maybe Harrison Butker's lining up for a game-winning field goal. If you are interested in joining us for the post-game show, myself and Patrick Allen will be there breaking down the game, whether it's a win or a loss. Hopefully, we're talking about your 9-0 Kansas City Chiefs heading to Buffalo. Thank you for joining me on the halftime show. Enjoy the second half. And as always, from Arrowhead Addict, go Chiefs.